empowered people. I know y'all thought we forgot about you. Certain climaxes take time. You just have to master patience. And Satori and I are here to bring you more joy, more wisdom, and more powerful dialogue. We have finally decided where we want to place our collective energy to serve our people with these conversations. It is on Patreon. You will see the link in the comment section where you'll be able to continue to connect with us. It's part 1 and part 2. And what we're getting ready to do in part 3 is transformative for you. And by your comments and reactions, y'all were feeding very well. I don't want you to miss this. We're being very intentional about how we're bringing our energy together to serve you and elevate the conversations around relationships. And so we can show you better than we can tell you. And I said to Satori, while he's laughing, he's like, oh, Thema. I told y'all in part 1, this is my work bae. This is work bae.
My baby.
And hi, darling. I missed you. I missed us serving the people. And I said, baby, we gotta have the conversation about sensuality, sexuality, and the mindsets, right? Yeah. Because, you know, I teach power pleasure. I'm a very embodied woman. I have no limitations or fears or anxieties, but I'm very aware that a lot of women and men don't even know that experience. Yeah. They don't know what it's like to be so comfortable in their body that when joy is available, they have no resistance to receiving it. So Satori, you actually do this work. Like you touch bodies all the time. You haven't touched mine yet physically, but you are masterful. Put your tongue back in your we're live. What are you doing? I can't take him. No, you see this? What was I saying? You touch you touch bodies, and the word on the street is that it is life-changing. It's very powerful. What do you do when your spirit is telling you that a woman needs to surrender her body to the work that you do, to your touch, to your energy, and she's afraid? As a man, just talk to the people, like as a divine man, what do you do?
Well, one of the first things, I think we mentioned in the episode before, in the line of work that I do and being able to be privileged to work with a lot of women in a very close, intimate space, the thing is, understand what intimate space is the level of transparency.
Yes, intimacy.
You know what I mean? And so it's important for me to go ahead and to initiate a level of transparency, and that transparency comes across first as me being neutral, making sure that my persona, my essence, and my intentions is totally clear, so that way, you know, the woman doesn't feel like I have another agenda. You know,
that's important.
You know what I'm saying? So safety, you know, and here's the thing, like I said, in my world, it's got to be open and fluid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the same time is it has to be very secure, right? Yeah. And so, it's a dance. And so what I do is I have the responsibility to make sure just to try to put that off, so that way she can feel, you know what I'm saying? So, especially like someone's new, I always try to be in a very neutral space, so that way, you know, she can kind of get acclimated to how she feel, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand that women are very sensory, right? And they're very, yes. I try to make sure that if there's any defenses, at least she somewhat is welcome to go ahead and, you know, feel okay to get worked on.
Yeah, no, that's wise. And from a male perspective, I can understand that. And as an empowered woman, I've even had, and I was sharing this with you before we went live, like I just had a recent encounter with a brother who was trapped in his head and not in his body. And because I'm a woman and I am so sensory, most of my communication in the domain of pleasure and joy is through touch. My body language is very efficient, but I still sometimes forget that even men need to grant permission. Because I'm the type of woman that just will throw you on your knees and then realize, you weren't ready, you know.
I'm
and
sorry.
So I appreciate the perspective of granting each other permission to see each other on all of these different layers as an act of foreplay.
Yes. Like you said,
it's an act of fear.
Yep. As an act of foreplay. And it's very important. And I'll say from a man's point of view, and I guess because I work with so many women for years, I just know a lot of different experiences that they have had.
Yeah, a lot of trauma.
Yeah. And so to try to, so, you know, as a man, you know, there's a part where you're like, okay, I don't want to be the next person in the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good, like you're saying, for a woman to at least in her way communicate to the man to make it a lot more easier if he is, you know, if that level of a high level exchange is going to be there, she has to welcome him. You know what I'm saying? She can't, you cannot have the man in a guessing game.
Because then the water gets muddy.
It gets miscues and I just say for men, from a man's perspective, representing the brothers, you know, that's not a good feeling.
No, nor is it safe.
It's not safe. That's what I was going to get at. And so that's like any man that's mindful, that's an alarm to us. It's like, oh, so I remember there was one sister a while back and we was having a discussion. And you know me, I got real straightforward with her. And I was like, you know, because she was talking about the intimacy. I said, well, just because you're willing to have sex don't mean that you're present.
Hello.
I said, and she's like, oh, I said, you're glorifying that you're willing to have sex. I said, but you're not present. And the man she was with, I said, he's complaining about you being present.
Right.
I said, and you don't understand. I said, that feels like legal rape to a man. And she just was like, oh, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I was like, because you're just doing it almost like a sense of obligation. I mean, there is, and I know the narrative, like men's like, oh, you just want, as long as you get some pussy, you good. You know, but there's a lot of men that like, I mean, once we evolve, it's kind of like, nah, are we meeting with each other? We're not, you know what I'm saying? Are we both present? You know, and that's very important.
I love that example that you share because it's equivalent to like when you're driving your car and you know your route without the GPS, you're just in the act of driving, but you're not even really mindful that you just turned left, you turned right. When I see women in that energy, Satori, it's because they are residing in too much fear.
Yeah.
Because what I've been able to cultivate in my journey of healing and leaning into pleasure and programming my body to stay in a state of joy, which is orgasmic, right? I don't even think I can have a casual lay because I'm not a casual woman.
No.
You know, it's like who I am. If I'm gonna go there because I'm so loyal and invested to get in mine, it's great if you get yours. But I really am here for the joy of it. So there's a certain frequency that gets activated, and I want to be, what I'm gonna say is important, but it is delicate because as a powerful woman, I'm not attracted to men who don't know what to deposit. And when you reside in your divine feminine, if you just look at the anatomy, you know, we go in for a reason, we take. But I try to teach women, men are looking for a signal of what you're going to do with what they give you.
Yep.
And even when it comes to, oh, you know, I've had brothers say to me straight up, I mean, like, granted, you're beautiful, I'm attracted to you, but you're not the only woman I could be physically intimate with. Like, we out here, we grown. But what pulls powerful men into my orbit is my clarity about my power, about what I'm gonna do with it. You know, like I already know, like, so you know what you got, I know what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And if we agree to stir something
Mm-hmm.
up,
Turn up.
I'll share. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do
Turn
it.
up.
And it doesn't take as long as it used to when I was very religious, when I was very afraid, when I thought that the heights of pleasure I was experiencing was perversion, when I had all these definitions that really no longer fit, but I ain't had nobody to show me that my version of what I called hoeing out was actually me remembering my priestess nature. Like, this is holy.
Yeah.
For me. Like,
I mean, you know, and with everything you're saying, it reminds me something years ago. Me and my mentor years ago, we did a thing called the sexual gospel.
Ooh, bring that back.
Yeah,
That's,
you know,
that's yum.
yeah. It's sitting back on the burner to cook, but you know, the sexual gospel, everything you're talking about, you said coming to that preach, because like you said, I know you have people that's transitioning or they got a biblical root, and I have a biblical root as well. And when it says naked and not ashamed, I don't think people understand what that means. And so that's talk about intimacy. And when you start to go deeper into that word, when it's talking about naked and not ashamed, it's giving us a clue on the main barrier for that transcendent experience
Yes.
that we're supposed to have every time we exchange. And that's the shame and guilt.
Yes.
Naked and not ashamed. So it's like we have to get past the orientation, the impressions, and the indoctrinations that brought us into a shameful state. And like you were saying, that sometimes we get, and I'm gonna tell you, that's the most, as a man, that's the most, I like how you said it. I don't know if everybody want to catch that, what you just did. I'm gonna bring it back. You said you was into intimacy, got to this higher state, got orgasmic, all of a sudden you started thinking about perversion.
Out of nowhere. I'm like, how am I feeling guilty?
You know what I'm saying? Got there, and now you want to come into the shame place. You know, and the thing about it is, men that are aware, we feel that.
Yes. And you move it.
And it's the, I'm gonna be honest, it's one of the most discomforting things. It's like you got to the space, and all of a sudden it's like this state of remorse, and all of a sudden after you're engaged, you're like, "Are you okay? Are you know what I'm saying? You took out the whole power, the whole magic, the whole ability to manifest, the whole ascendancy for the soul to rejuvenate." We're gonna say this.
Okay, can you tag me in real quick? Because you're saying something so good and it has so many layers. I don't want the people to miss it. Because yes, on the feminine side, when you bring in that energy, if you are not dealing with a divine masculine, right, it will absolutely derail the entire experience.
It will.
But for me, who I'm only attracted to powerful men, I allow my woundedness, my vulnerability, sometimes my unshaved legs, whatever it was. You like it? Okay, all right. I'll put this leg on your shoulder in this live. So you know what I expect? Like, some of the best sermons I've ever heard were on my back. That brother felt the resistance in my body, threw his head back, and said, "God." I said, "Damn, wait a minute. Am I about to be baptized? Like, what is happening?" are you praying in the middle of this stroke?
Yeah.
And he was.
Going to meditation.
And he
Absolutely.
invoked the ancestors, and I heard the feet running, and I was like, I hope my folks here too. You know what I mean? Like, I need everybody on deck.
Absolutely.
And he literally was wise enough, secure enough, unafraid enough to move the pain out of my body.
Yes.
Once I had that, I said, no turning back. I said, no, God, this right here is how I got to lay down. If I'm gonna lay down, it's got to be at this level and depth.
But see, you talk about transcendence, you know, and that's that sexual gospel. And that's where, when I talk to and explain to a lot of ladies, I say, you got to get past the performance level.
Yeah.
You know, the gameplay, the tricks and all that. I mean, it's cute, but there's a whole other level. But you only can get there by being really, truly in the soul, truly loving yourself in order to get past that layer. And like you said, in a divine masculine, because everybody associates healing with the feminine, but the masculine is a healing agent as well, too.
What? Because it's that linear energy. It's that erect. Oh, okay. See, women, we move in that spiral, and we can be vast and all-encompassing and psychologically all over the place.
Yeah.
But when the masculine energy comes into that orbit, it begins to order things. That's why in parenting, they be like, wait till your daddy get home. You know what I mean? Because order is coming. But I respect men that can order my body. Yeah.
It anchors and enlightens.
Yeah.
And I want women to understand that. Because we talking about, I ain't talking about low level stuff. I'm talking about this what we talk about here. It anchors and it enlightens. And I want to say, because there's all this stuff, everybody talking about honoring celibacy and all that. I don't want to get into, you know, I'm just like, y'all, this is some backwards ass stuff.
I had that conversation over the weekend with some sisters. I said, you doing a year? I said, why?
Wow, you're working against yourself. And I know I work with women all the time, and I see the effects, know the effects, not just in the body, but also psychologically, and where it keeps them in the nervous system and everything. It's like that's that extreme creative religious teaching that's serving the woman wrong. And it's taking
it's always a year. Like, who made that up? Like,
who made that up? I mean, what scripture is that? What's so
one of my teachers, the herbalist Susan Weed, she's up there now. I think she's probably pushing 90. She said that there's a lot of data that shows women who have a minimum of 7 orgasms a week have lower incidence of dementia.
Yep.
Right, and all of those degenerative diseases. So I don't care how you get there, but get there if you can. I sat my mama down. I said, I don't care if you over 60. What I know is you need to get there. Do you need me to get you a rose? Do you need me to try to go out here and coordinate some dates? What you need from me, Linda? Listen, Linda, what do you need? I need you to live long and prosper. And a lot of women, this is what the sister told me over the weekend. Her explanation was, I get too emotional.
And that's foolish.
I said, so that means you should be more active.
Exactly.
Because orgasms force you to surrender, and you should learn how to leverage that energy.
And that's we're gonna do another episode because I see this can just go. We got different.
You ain't know I was going here. You ain't know I was gonna bring it like that. Now you know, so you can't act like you don't know next time.
Yeah. But I will say this back what you're saying when you tell your mama, and I tell women, they need the lingo. You need the content. The rose, all stuff is cool, but you need to you need it because you need the zinc exchange.
I need the sweat. I need the veins. I need the breath.
You need the zinc.
Yeah.
Because you talking about the dementia and all this stuff. It's like, well, that helps with the brain health.
Look at how nature did. Isn't nature good?
You know what I'm saying? And if people are like, well, I don't agree. Where you come from heals you. We all come from sex. There's an energy of healing in that. There's some healing in the nut, in the cum, and the exchange, and the drip.
Yeah, I'll be putting it on my edge. That's too much. Never mind. But
you know what I'm saying. But
it's true.
The elixir is there for a reason.
It is. Better learn how to use it.
You better learn how to use it and take it in. you know, and there's this transcendence that that has to occur. So we're talking about that mental barrier, but now we're talking about that bodily barrier, where I think a lot of brothers, I think they're slowly, I'll put it like this, because it's funny, because in my world, they don't understand. A lot of guys are missing, they're overlooking it, because most women complain that men are not patient enough. You know, and I get what they're saying. There's a part where we can elevate the foreplay to marinating the body.
I like how you said that. That was real hot.
You know what I'm saying? Marinating the body, letting it because most women don't come into an orgasm or have problem with orgasm. It's connected to stress. It's to stress. Or dysfunction, hypothalamus, and all these other, I'm getting technical, but the stress factor.
Yeah, pelvic floor issues, all of those things.
All those things. So being able to help marinate the body brings the woman into a very heightened sensory receptiveness. And see, a lot of men, you want her there.
Yes, you
want, trust me, you want her there. You don't want her.
Different.
You don't, yeah, thank you for saying it. It's different. If you just entering and she's not in the, it's like, I mean, okay, you got off, you probably felt good. Oh, that's good. It was performance level. But if you want to start to get into transcendence, and the reason why your lover went into a prayer, because if your body was in a heightened sensory space, you want to start meditating in that joint.
Yeah, I go out. I'll just trance out.
It's a meditation. Sex is a meditation.
It
and
is.
People are like, I don't get, look, why does your brain waves change?
Yep.
Right?
And when it's masterful, it's a quantum jump.
That's great. You just said thank you. You jump for me. It's a quantum jump. It's not a transition. It's like, oh, boom, swap. It's there. And so there's another level of art when they get there. How do you keep them there?
How you do it, Satori? Tell me. How you keep them there? I just want to know. I'm just
So one part is to is to allow ourselves to get lost and grounded inside the sensory aspect. When we talk about a lot, getting your head, getting out of your head. So it's like, instead of you thinking, replace that thought with sensation. And don't
what you're describing is on some level physiological trust.
Yeah, that, and also emotional, and also inward, you know,
and heart intelligence, right? Because those orgasms we're describing have to come through the heart. Would you agree?
Yep, it has to come through the heart gateway. But a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it can jump. He said that quantum jump can occur once you allow the bodies to marinate. You know what I'm saying? Because again, just that fast, you know, it switches. And it's one of the most beautiful things to witness as a man. And I personally think that a lot of men need to get into that space, because I know we become more in a state of adoration and a more of a worship of the feminine. Because a lot of them really seen that. I mean, when the woman can release, and it's a whole nother phenomenon, to the point where you don't even want to penetrate.
To the point that the woman's body may not even allow you to.
It might even allow you to.
Women talking about, I want to tone up and be tighter. I'm like, girl, you're probably too tight. You're trying to, you know, and I'm like, you already walking around
already tight.
You know? It's one of the most beautiful and sacred things I've ever experienced, to the point that when I choose to take on a lover and exchange some love, my expectation is that we leave the experience different.
Period.
You know, my lovers will say, man, every time I lay with you, I get 30 grand. Yes, dear, so do I. Like we get money, we get joy.
Yeah, you get inspiration. Yeah, it's rejuvenating. I want everybody to understand it's a rejuvenating experience. Too many people are talking about the ugly. Now I'm going to say this. Too many these bullshit influencers are saying this stuff, and I can tell. First of all, they don't even do body work. So what the fuck? Anyway, I'm gonna stop.
Right, like I be wanting to say, don't teach the class because I can tell you got dust. I can tell. I could tell that ain't nobody stroking it at the level of your outline for your class. Like I can tell, like the energy, everything is energy. It doesn't lie. People are out here profiting off of ignorance. But when you get into the domain of pleasure, it is experiential.
Experiential all day long. And it's heightening, and it requires a level of openness. So if you're teaching stuff about closeness, I already know you haven't really tapped in. There's no way. There's no way.
How can you this is what I say to my students that's in Power Pleasure right now. And I get a lot of religious ones. And I'm blessed that I reach all demographics. I reach the youngins and 60 and up. I say, you can't tell me that the God who made your clitoris don't want you to use it. You just can't tell me that. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And I wish that when I was growing up, instead of being given indoctrination, I had been given the knowledge of what to do. You know, and as a mother of Thema 3.0, my daughter, when I watch her development, I've already made a covenant with myself that I will give her more than what I got and give her the wisdom early so she has no fear. So she's not doing what I was doing at 14, writing in my journal, you know, God forgive me for touching myself in the middle of the night. Well, this is my body. How else am I gonna learn what to do? Right. You know? But I had all of that anxiety, all of that fear, and it was inherited. It was unnatural for me to try to function the way I was functioning with my body. And it was beginning to show up in my life. It was showing up in my communication. I didn't know how to tell a man what I want. Oh, and this is the other piece I want to throw in the pot is just see your reaction to it. Can we stop assuming that people have to perform for access to our love and to our body? Like I come to the bed as love. So I don't have the question of if I have this moment with someone, does that mean my worth? My worth is not decided by somebody else's behavior.
Honey, sex is a natural reflex of connection and resonance and attraction.
Come on and preach, why don't you? I like it. Keep going.
You know, it's a natural reflex. If you bring people together and they are resonating at a multiple levels that exchange with inside each other's soul, that sex is a natural reflex. You ain't even gotta bring it up. It's that energy is already gonna conjure up and already envelope around. It's a natural reflex. Yes. So it's spontaneous, it's transparent, it's inviting. It's so to try to police attraction is the most foolish thing to do.
When I hear women be like, I don't know why all he's talking about is his attraction to me, I'll be like, would you prefer that he treats you like you ugly? Like, what are you asking?
What are you talking about? That's supposed to happen.
Signal.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen. And we're not realizing how it expands and how it unfolds. I mean, you know, there's periods, right? Like you be like, you know, sometimes you be like, you know, we're both entrepreneurs, so you get, you know, and it's like, you're like, damn, like, why am I really clicking? And then all of a sudden, be able to share a level of intimacy and a transitional experience. You're like, oh shit, oh, I need a portal opened up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you know, and we're just, and you could interpret what I just said on if you want to interpret on the sex level or whatever. I'm too grown. I ain't got time to explain it. You know what I'm saying? You know. You take it out.
Some people don't know. We have to explain it. We'll explain it in the Patreon.
Like, oh, he got his fuck on. You know what I'm saying? I might have got that too, or whatever. Any day is there's many different level of exchanges that you need for that portal to open up. Yes. But you need that exchange.
Yes.
You need that entry, that and people, you know, and men that are conscious and they become heightened. The lingam means a light wand. That's the energetic intent. You know what I'm saying? It's an energetic intent that comes in. So it's like, yo, what are y'all talking about? Why are you? I know you're having a transcendental experience because you would not be talking about
Like that.
and over semen retention bullshit that people are just out here putting on people. Go ahead and shut down your prostate gland if you want to.
It's ridiculous.
Men.
And I don't hang with people like that. I told all my sisters, I said, if you're going to be close to me, you got to be walking like a penguin. I don't hang with dry women because y'all are the worst. You know what I mean? Y'all the worst. Drama, or because you mad because somebody need to snap that back. You know what I mean? And you're just raunchy as hell.
Need a snap. I don't know how many women I tell, I tell them, I say, look, baby, I don't know how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, who, what, or where, with, but what needs to happen, you need to get that touch game on. I said, because your body is too hard.
Yep.
As a woman, or there's too. I know how to work. Like I said, I open up women. I work on women.
Mm-hmm. Open me up, Satori. Thank God.
And I get it, and a lot of times they're very receptive. They're like, oh, it's like, no, this affects you this way. I get it. Indirect or direct religious indoctrination. I get it. You don't want to be hoeing out, slut. Now, honey, look. It's okay to be. I don't get caught up in that. Honey, be a hoe. Do what you gotta do. But in the area,
go sign up for the Power Pleasure class. I'll teach you the code. I'll teach you
the class. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that there's a beauty. There is a beauty that is there on everyone that's involved, and it's disturbing because I see a lot of people just swaying way over here, and it's all ugly
from one end to the next, like this.
Yeah, it's like all ugly. It's an ugly message, and I said I refuse to bring out because there's no ugliness. That's not my reality. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to withhold from my love. What are you talking about? I'm not that. That's no.
And I like to tell people, like, my testimony of finding God in my body. Like I say, I find God in my flesh. There was a time where I used to think God was everywhere. You know how they say God is omnipresent. So God is everywhere except for my bed and my body.
Right.
When I want to do something with my body.
Right.
But when I discovered just how powerful, how medicinal,
very,
I feel like your lover is your master teacher. They are a powerful way of revealing where you're still wounded. Because you have to give a certain level of vulnerability to go to certain depths and crack open certain meridians in your body. So if you don't take the risk to be available, you actually can be sabotaging your deliverance. Because the majority of my miracles were ushered into my life through men. They saw me, they heard some clear instructions, and all it took was me giving the signal that I was ready, and it was on from there. And they did what I needed them to do to really remember who I am. And some of those experiences was for 3 minutes, some was for 5, some was for 3 years, some have been a decade plus. You know what I mean? But
no, it's powerful. It's a residual
effect. Life changing. I want it for everybody.
Yeah, it is. There's different levels of orgasm. A lot of us get mesmerized by the shaking and trembling, but there's a level where you ain't shaking and trembling at all.
Yeah, I can't even move.
You can't even move, and you can feel layers of the tingling like a cloud, and it gets real light. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like basically it's like a worship. It's like, you are, and that's where a man, you definitely want to see the woman that experience.
There's no words.
There's no words. You can't put no definition on it. You just have to.
My favorite orgasms are when our breath becomes one.
Absolutely.
Oh, the rhythm.
That's sexy.
Like, I don't have vocabulary for it.
Yeah, because you don't put words on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about consciousness. It's like you don't put words on these things. It is an inner and a intuitive awareness And it's just it's beyond language, but it is a language, but it's not the language of audible. It's the language of the soul. It's the language of
The body speaks.
The body speaks. And I one of the nicknames for my Wisdoms and Body Flow was the religion of the body.
Ooh. Sign me up for that church. I'm coming.
Yeah, it's the religious body, really
That's
getting
powerful.
Yeah. That's what, that's what it does, of course. And as someone gets comfortable, the more, deeper they can really go. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, the term religion also means to tie. So religion of the body, I'm talking about unwinding, taking them ties off.
Yeah.
And letting the body get free.
Yeah, but sometimes I like to be tied up, Satori.
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do.
I don't know why I'm like this, but I love that I am.
Y'all, she got double fours. So
Okay, so you know my numbers. This is who I am, okay? But no, this is an important conversation, because when you begin to change your value system and your perspective of it all, you get to practice new skills.
Yeah, new skills.
To have mature conversations about desire.
Yes.
What you truly want versus responsibility all the time.
Right. But think what you just said right there. Desire and responsibility. So we talk about on the soul level, desire attached to your soul. Responsibility is something we carry out. So that's an external thing, right? Desire is internal. Oh, so we can't feel guilty, to go back to naked, not ashamed piece again.
Yes.
You can't feel guilty for your desire. That's a sabotage.
Do you know Louise Hay published in her glossary, Heal Yourself from A to Z, that the mental state that produces sexually transmitted diseases is guilt and shame? Everything is vibrational.
Yeah. It's because, again, it says to be naked and not ashamed. And the intimacy, I don't care how everybody speaks, everybody brings up colorful words and great dynamic phrases and, and bumper sticker phrases and,
hashtags.
And at the end of the day, is baby, we helping you out right here. You have to deal with the shame and guilt. And there's many different phases with that. We don't have time to get into that today, but there's many different layers of things that fall up under shame.
Yes.
And things that falls up under guilt. So we can make shame a domain and guilt a domain. And we can get a list of all the different things that's going on inside you, right? That's aligned with that. Because to enter into that transcendental state, which is a naked state. And the naked state is referring to that transparency. So we're talking about soul to soul. When you're making love and when you're in the sexual experience, are you feeling each other's soul? So when someone says, when the sister's talking about, I get too emotional, that's telling me right there at the back that you are trying to prevent your soul
from bursting out of this.
Yeah, so you're in a container, baby, because emotion is one of the different faculties and one of the divisions of the soul.
Yeah, they want permission to flow and move and change.
You got to have it. It's a lot of things going on in the heightened state, as you were saying earlier, when you talking about the breath twinning with each other. That's the imitative fact of the law of self. Is when you merge breath, you merge soul.
Yes, union, which we talked about in part one. Everybody want marriage, but I ain't interested in union, baby. Give me union. Show me if you can unite.
They don't want that. Yeah, that's what you want. You want you. Yeah. Y'all put
they want it once they experience it in their body. Want
it. Y'all put the paper over the body. Okay, y'all do that.
I'll take the body any day.
I'll take the body any day. I'll take body over paper. Y'all take paper over body.
For real. I mean, and it's fascinating to me. how even the ancients were so aware of the power of the body.
Yeah.
Even when I look at Mary Magdalene's gospel and her philosophy of entering the nous and the pillow talk that many claim she had with Yeshua about the heart, the power of the heart, and the power of the body. Like, I can't trace, I'm an ordained interfaith minister. I can't trace in any of the ancient texts an obsession with denying the power of the body. All of the teachings ask us to integrate at a high level and learn how to find God in all of the layers of ourselves.
The reality is you can't really do the work unless you do it. You know, the work
that you succeed in is unsustainable success until you integrate.
Yep. And there's a lot of women I know they enter in a sacred circles, and a lot of times I, you know, just a couple sisters I know, and I, you know, and we talk and I let them know, I say it's important for you to have your sacred pillar. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, because you are a priestess, or you are, you know what I'm saying,
working with the women. That's why I got so. Yeah, that's why I got so many. I'm big energy, and there's a lot of women that I serve, and in my teachings, I've started inviting men in because women don't need more practice talking to women, being amongst women. A lot of women have no idea what to do with healthy men. They only know what to do with toxic ones, and then they put themselves in this loop of being constantly re-triggered and re-traumatized until they stand in front of a powerful man who is not intimidated. I think we need to give the people some concrete, practical language and examples, because I think a lot of the people listening are going to deeply resonate with everything we've been saying. But then if they don't have a Satori or Thema, or they're not on our Patreon, they're going to need some guidance and some structure in how to start talking, thinking, and choosing things that reflect their new ideology. If I'm on a date, like practical shit, like, all right, met somebody on a dating app, I felt my yoni jump, Thema. What I'm supposed to do with that? Right? Like, my body started talking. I can't do this with you. My body started talking, and what am I supposed to do with that? And so I think maybe I didn't know we was gonna need another part, but maybe we really do, because, and on the brother side, I have found, you know, throughout my years, some of the most powerful men were very introverted. They weren't the loud one in the middle. You know, sometimes the loudest ones are the weakest ones. Right? It'd be them quiet ones. You gotta watch out for. And I would love for you to speak to, and I would love to hear from the brothers sharing their journey of finding the language, how we flirt, how we seduce, how we engage at a high frequency. I think we need a catalog of that.
No, I agree. I'll throw a little hint out, right? One of the things, it was years ago, man. And I was like, I'm gonna coin the term flirt buddies. And a lot of tell people is like, you know, for men is before we got on, you were talking about the barriers, right? You know, we went in a whole other direction, but
you really did. Maybe they need
it's cool that's what you meant. But this is circling back around what you're saying, creating this catalog of language, and that's what we're talking about. Is like, I know as a man, and I have very good rapport, you know, with women, I say, you know, in a high degree, and there's women I'm cool with, and it's like, and I think when you just cool with each other, and women know you're not an object to them. I'm very big about that. Like, just don't make them an object, right? And I tell them the first thing for men, the first language is let me be sincerely be able to be your friend.
Yes.
Almost
every single man I talk to, they're like, please.
You got to do that. You have to do that as a man. And they're going, well, I'm not into this regular narrative shit. I'm so friend zone.
What does that mean?
Sometimes friend zone is the best place to be. That's a whole nother conversation. But But really be your friend. You know, we have to understand each other's energetic algorithm as a woman.
Ooh, algorithm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I talk about film. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they got my deep dives for that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes, they got to get in there.
You know, but we have a woman. You know, she's gonna, you know, she flows in and out of them, and many know how to appeal to that. You're right. So that way, the woman is confirmed and affirmed. And
Yes.
then men have theirs, you know. Sadly, we just think of one, but if you could just really be the friend, that creates ease to the woman.
Yes. And that goes back to part one, where we were talking about on the front end, defining the dynamic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're in the establishment phase and you're flirting and you're testing the waters to kind of see what the vibe is, that's when you get to have the conversation and say, I do need friendship. What a few benefits, you know, every now and then. You know what I mean? Or I just want friendship right now. I'm in a space where, practical example, a brother was trying to get at me last week. He was being very vulnerable. And women, when men practice emotional vulnerability, even if that's not going to be your choice, please respect that and affirm that, because so many men have fought through so much trauma to even find the courage to say what they're really going through to a woman that they like. So even if I'm not going to pick you, I'm going to honor what you offered me. So this brother was trying to get at me. He was like, you beautiful. He was like, full transparency. It's Christmas time. My kids needed Christmas gifts. I've been going through a lot of boo, boo, boo. And I said, I hear you. That's my go-to line. I hear you. Because it's neutral, right? It's non-offensive. I said, with all that's going on in your life, it would be unfair to invite you into my orbit right now, because I'm a lot of woman. If it sinks at another time, when things are more settled and you have more capacity, then we can revisit this. Because I orbit, I don't break up with nobody. I just keep orbiting in my universe.
It's a whole nother level. That's people don't understand that.
They don't even know what that means, really.
No, they don't know.
That brother was like, yo, I respect that. Like, is it okay if we still just greet each other and just, just be friends? I said, yeah, you ain't a problem for me, but you just won't be able to get into certain domains and territories with me. But it's cool, and so
can't dance.
Yeah, nah, I ain't ready to tap that. So, I don't mind turning men out, but I like to be turned back out. You know what I mean? So I encourage women to free up, because you can't even offer what you don't have, number one.
Right.
And you definitely can't articulate it if you're not clear about what you desire. And you have seasons of different types of desires.
Yes.
And every season comes with its own frequency.
Yes, it does. Yes,
and
it does.
So we want to walk through some of that with you all. That's why you got to get in our Patreon. We're going to continue to offer these conversations and this wisdom for you. You'll get to continue to watch me flirt with Satori and make him bust out laughing on camera and stuff, because that's just what I do. It's just so fun for me and orgasmic for me, especially when he hit the laugh when his tongue hang out. He go like that. I'm like, all right, you might want to roll that tongue back up. You don't know who I am. Or maybe you do, but we are here just for the joy of it, honestly.
Yeah.
This is our contribution. I got tired of all that bickering and that nasty gender war stuff, man. I was over it.
Like, man, let's get some transcendent stuff. And there's a language, and like I said, everybody taps into the the Patreon, we'll definitely, lay a lot of those things out and spell those things. I mean, it's obvious, like I said, we both combined really bring a lot to the table. And we've been in this space, you know what I'm saying? We've been, creating this workspace.
Yeah, it's been decades.
It's not complicated. You just have to be liberated inside yourself. And it's a process. You've been cycled into certain things. So reason why we're saying get into the Patreon, because it separates you outside the noise, again, a certain where now we can get stuck into you get cycled into a different orientation, and
Yeah.
so that way you kind of can, like you said, begin to go through that unlearning to learn piece and all the different things that's going to help you get naked and not ashamed.
Yeah. And
I mean,
not ashamed. Come on. I'm gonna have to get that on the t-shirt.
Yeah, you got to be naked and not ashamed. I mean, that's where it gave us a clue right there in scripture. And we argue, we dance around it, and we have promoted, and we see right now, we see the other part being promoted of the shame and guilt.
Yeah.
And it has different faces. Well, where are they? One of them is the celibacy talk. The other one is the men overdoing semen retention part. You know what I'm saying? I need to continue to go on. Just those two alone is just like, I'm not saying men don't retain, but just the extreme men bragging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From one end to the next.
I went for 8 months. Not nigga, you silly.
Tell him again. Tell him, babe. Silly. It's
just
true.
going against your biological law. Just going against the biological law yourself. And that's the thing, I want people to understand is we're saying these things because we put time in, but the basis behind it is principles and laws.
It is.
Right. And so when you're advocating some of these things, a lot of these people are saying things very radical, and it's outside the scope and it's contrary to the biological law that we operate in.
It's unnatural.
It's unnatural. So and that's just stop it. I mean, I think we got enough evidence. I'm gonna say it, because I'm, I guess, old school now officially, right? We unseen mothers, in the church with, and looking, y'all ain't got bitter is not the covering you want in your latter years.
No. Nope.
Empty nesting. Think about it. That sounds very nice. Empty nesting. It's not a penalty.
No.
It's an invitation for more freedom.
Hey, God. Hallelujah. Preach. I'm coming to this church. Religion of the body. I'm coming. Yes.
No shame. No shame. No shame. Honey, because we
have to put on clothes for that service. Do we? Because I'm coming naked and unashamed. Naked and unashamed.
We have to really just let's get back to the center, because people are just like, yo, I get it. And it's not just women, it's the men's side. We got to get things to get past and just get into the beauty, right? That's the.
How did you say that though? Because this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
I hear a lot of men who preach that or resonate with that whole holding in my energy, retaining all of that. They tend to be like them Samuelites, and they have a lot of anger and resentment about being generous.
Sure. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But it's like, don't you know this is the womb though? That you could never deposit something I can use and not get something back? Like, this is the womb, sir. Like, why would you do that in here? It makes no sense. Like, you came out of a womb. You wouldn't even be here without this energy. You don't know how to use it, clearly. So I think we all need to continue these conversations. I hope that you are laughing and cackling with us and experiencing the joy of it. There is more. There's so much more. And I enjoy, and so does Satori, offering you the things that you need and can use. And so that's why we're here. So check the Patreon link. Go ahead and get up in there, because we got some good tools for you that we're going to continue to expand upon. For those of you who've been looking for a space to tap into, to get more wisdom about how you're making your choices in your love life, to get more education, that's what we're doing. That's what we've created for you. Come on in there. Send us the screenshots of the text messages and let's help you get naked and unashamed and figure all of this out. Because the truth is, some of us just weren't taught, and we don't know what we don't know. And so we are offering it to you, Satori. I enjoy you so much.
Yes, likewise.
You are
Likewise.
such a beautiful soul and gift to my life and to the world. And so I just wanted to honor you for taking your time to act up with me on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So y'all have a good night. Peace.